Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Wafa Alfaris and my study number is A320230107, and this is my last semester last semester test that is about the analysis between the tourist crisis analysis from the Labuan Bajo boat tragedy and Bali quiet season versus Yogyakarta safe. Uh, and this is my introduction to tourism. And for the lecturer is Mr. Fitri. For the let's let's start with about the about at the end of 2025, Indonesia tourism was confronted by two contrasting but interconnected situations. On one hand, a fatal boat accident in Labuan Bajo triggered international mourning and raises serious question about maritime safety. On the other hand, public discourse suggests that Bali was experiencing a quiet season while domestic tourism increased choose Yogyakarta instead. These two cases represent different types of tourism craze. One is sudden safety disaster and one is other is slow burning perception and demand safe. However, both cases expose structural vulnerability in Indonesian system, particularly in risk management and governance and crisis communication. From the root, from the analysis of the root cause of the problem is the Labuan Bajo tragedy. For first, we will bring the Labuan Bajo tragedy. Let's view it as a isolated accident that is the result of multiple interaction risk factor. First, environmental and weather-related risks. The water around Komodo National Park are naturally challenging with strong current and unpredictable wave. From a tourism risk perspective, such a condition require conservative operational decisions, including trip cancellation when thresholds are exceeded. However, natural hazard become disaster only when management system fail. Second, safety management and operational SOP weakness. Indication of delay response, equipment adequacy, and emergency preparedness suggest that safety protocols were either insufficient or poorly enforced. In high-risk tourism environment, SOP should be dynamic and stress test, not treated as administrative and formalities. Uh, like the news state that keselamatan tidak boleh bergantung pada pengamalan semata, tapi juga dengan sistem. Untuk yang ketiga, and for the third, regulatory oversight and governance issue. Small scale maritime operator often operate in gray zone of supervision where inspection are irregular and sanction are weak. This creates a normal this create normalization of race where unsafe practice become a routine. And for the second case, that is Bali Session and Yogyakarta Safe. Uh, let's start with comparing with the first case, that is in the Labuan Bajo. Unlike the first case, the Bali issue reflect a perception-driven tourism fluctuational, not a collapse of demand. Uh, let's start with public perception amplified by social media. The narrative of Bali Sepi or Quiet Bali, we say, is spread by rapidly online despite official data showing only a marginal decline in domestic arrival. This demonstrate how information asymmetry can distort travel decision making. In tourism, perception function as a market signal, even when it's inaccurate. And the second is I think it's seasonal and climatic consideration. That is, it's the end of year period coincided with increased rainfall and sea condition warning for domestic tourism, many of whom prefer short low risk trips. This reduce Bali attractiveness. And the third is destination citizen behavior. Rather than canceling travel, tourists choose functional substitutes. Yogyakarta offers cultural tourism, urban accessibility, affordability, and weather resilience, making it rational alternative. Uh, and let's move to the next section, that is the impacts on Indonesian tourism. For the case one, undermine confidence in marine adventure tourism, particularly among international travelers. And for the case two, disrupt regional tourism revenue distribution affecting Bali small business, can be concluded in like this. In the long term, repeatedly safety incident can accumulate and reputational risk, making recovery slower and more expensive. Meanwhile, the management perception crisis can reshape domestic travel pattern permanently. Well, and from the response of domestic and international tourist response is, the domestic tourists tend to respond quickly to price signal, weather information, and social media narrative, while international tourists, however, evaluate the destination through safety record, institutional credibility, and international media coverage. This means one tragedy can have a disproportionate global impact even if statistically rare. And for the third, safety and the destination credibility, trust is the invisible infrastructure of tourism. Once damaged, it requires visible corrective action, not reassurance alone. In marine tourism, safety credibility is especially critical due to low tolerance for risk among travelers. Next, let's move to the section C, that what is missing. That is the semantic weakness. From both cases, we can identify at least four semantic gaps. That is, first, reactive safety culture focus on response rather than prevention. Second, fragmented government with overlapping but weakly coordinated authorities. The third is ineffective crisis communication, allowing misinformation to dominate early narrative. And the fourth and the last is underdeveloped risk forecasting, particularly for weather and perception based. And from the section D, actionability solution. From the first level, that is operator and industry. For the solution is enforce no sale policy tied to clear environmental threshold, and and the first sec and the second one is mandatory annual safety certification by independent auditor. For the responsibility, the both operator, tour company, and professional association. The level two. From the level two responsibility, that is destination and regional authorities. From I can give the solution that is integrated. I would say that integrated destination risk dashboard combining weather, safety, and visitor alert. And the second is formal incident reporting and learning system at destination level. So the one who take responsibility is the local governor, harbor master, and destination management bodies. For the third level, that is national level, I can give the solution that is national marine tourism safety framework aligns with the international standards, so we can cooperate. We can operate like the international standard of the Europe, and America, that have high high standard of marine tourism safety framework. And the second is a centralized tourism crisis communication unit to provide rapid trusted information. And the one who responsible for this is Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Transportation, the National SIR or Search SIR agency. And that's it for my opinion. And for my closing statement, that is the Labuan Bajo tragedy and the Bali Yogyakarta tourism shift tell the story of four different angles. Tourism resilience is not built by promotion alone, but by safety system, governance capacity, and public trust. If Indonesia aims to sustainable tourism leadership, risk management must become a core competency, not an afterthought, because in tourism, trust is the true destination. Thank you for tuning in with me. This is Muhammad Wafal Faris, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.